Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we are going to talk about 7 practical ways to live like the Stoics. But first it's important to actually understand what exactly is the Stoic philosophy. Stoic philosophy teaches us to live a life in a way where we constantly evolve. There are 4 basic and the most essential values of Stoic philosophy, which are courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. Today in this video, we are going to talk about 4 preachers of Stoic philosophy, which are Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Zena, and Epictetus. So I'd like to quote about courage from Seneca. Seneca actually pitied those people who haven't experienced misfortune. And because you haven't experienced misfortune, no one would know what you are capable of, not even yourself. So it's important for all of us to experience hurdles and come out and find a way from those situations. Next, he also talks about temperance, which is doing the right thing at the right time, in the right way, and in proper moderation. All our efforts become fruitful only when we solve when we put together all of the blocks in the puzzle correctly, in the right manner, at the right time, and in the right way. Zena actually talks about justice, which is whatever you do, be it at life and work, practice it with justice. Be true to whatever you are doing. And lastly is the wisdom. Zeno said that God gave us 2 ears to listen more, 2 eyes to read more, and 1 mouth to speak less. So here's what should be doing more of: listening and reading and less of speaking. That's the correct way to learn more. So these are the 4 most essential values of Stoic philosophy. And now we're going to talk about 7 ways how you can implement all of these 4 essential values in your daily life. Number 1 way is to practice self-control and discipline. Self-control over our physical diet and our mental diet, because whatever we take in, like for example, if we are eating a lot of junk food, we are going to feel like junk. And if we are consuming negative, nagging content, that is something is going to be in our heads, and that's how we are going to be reacting. So it's important that we consciously track our physical as well as mental diet. This will help us be better health-wise and also be mentally and emotionally strong. I highly recommend watching this particular video wherein I talk about developing healthy habits in detail so that you can consume good physical diet as well as mental diet. The second is to guard your time. Time is the single most important asset which is not returnable. Once gone, it will not come back. So it's essential that we constantly keep track of how we are spending our time and where we are spending our time. A lot of times we all complain that, oh, I do not have time to do this, I do not have time to eat healthy, I do not have time to meditate. But often if we track for a week in a notebook where our time is going, that is when we'll realize how much time we are spending on doing stuff and activities that doesn't help us to become our best selves. I highly recommend that you do an activity wherein every day you track and mention whatever you did in the entire day. And when you look back and analyze the entire week, that is when you will be able to know where you're actually spending your time and where you can cut off things to create time to fill your own cup. I made another video talking about managing your time. I highly recommend watching this particular video wherein you can get practical tips on how you can save time and be efficient with your time. The third practical way is to restrict distractions. The way this is possible is something which is little hard to do in real life, but if you are able to do it, you will experience changes in your life that you wouldn't have imagined. That is restricting your screen time after you wake up for at least 2 hours. You can start with 30 minutes. I understand it's the first thing that we see is our phones, but you restrict seeing your phone for at least 2 hours after you wake up and before you go to sleep. That is when you'll find time to do a lot of hobbies that you were putting off thinking you do not have time. Whip out your Kindle or whip out a book that you want to read, or start a new hobby like knitting, painting, doing mandala, or whatever that you were thinking of. Suddenly you will have so much time on your hand that you will realize at how much of a slave you were to the phone screen. Additionally, throughout the day, you can also limit your social media consumption by scheduling a social media consumption hour. So whenever you come across a video that you want to watch, or whenever your mind pops up an idea, okay, let's go and watch something on Instagram, some reel on Instagram, then you schedule it at your consumption hour and delay going on social media and not giving yourself that instant boost of information that your mind requires to distract itself. Mindfully take your mind back to the task that you were doing. I highly recommend, especially when you are at work, to disconnect, if your work allows, from internet. And that will be the most efficient and the most productive hours, and I promise that you will get a lot of work done. The next practical way is to be responsible for your own happiness. Most of the times we hold responsible external factors, other people or other things for any of the mishappenings in our lives, and we also hold responsible other people for our happiness. But that's not the way. Happiness is an internal job and it's there irrespective of the fact that you achieve or fail at your goal. It doesn't come after you reach a milestone or when you complete a degree or when you bag your first job. It is already existing within you. And if you decide that you want to be happy, you can decide it from the next minute. To be happy, you do not need to spend any money. You can be happy and be grateful for whatever your life is. The next practical way is to banish your ego and practice humility. One important way to banish your ego is to always have a learner's mindset. Once you develop a learner's mindset, you always have an approach of seeking and learning from others and not thinking that you already know about that certain topic. It is always said that the more books you read, the more you realize how little your knowledge is. And I truly feel that, because once we start taking in the knowledge, we realize how much more we should be knowing about certain thing that we do not know. Another way of practicing humility is to be self-aware. Aware about your strengths, about your weaknesses, and being able to work on your weaknesses and not indulging in self-doubt, self-criticism, or self-loathing. This could be a little tough to practice in daily life, but as you start practicing, you'll get a hang of it. So the next point that I'm going to talk about will actually support the last 2 points and help you be better at banishing your ego and practicing happiness. That is journaling your thoughts. Journaling your thoughts is like mentally and verbally excreting out all of the excess and the negative stuff that we have. When we journal our thoughts, our problems, our feelings, that is when we feel lighter and we feel that is actually gone from our mind. However, you can journal to excrete out your negative thoughts, or you can journal to take in positive thoughts in your mind. There are many forms of journaling, like for example, writing morning pages, writing down your affirmations, journaling all that you're feeling when you're feeling anxious, or journaling just about how your day went. One form of journaling is also writing down what you did in your entire day that we talked about in the video earlier. So when you actually write down, you detach from that particular feeling and you look at it from a practical angle and come out with solutions. That's the power of journaling. I'm going to be making a detailed video about how you can start journaling, but that is for some another video. For now, just take a pen or paper and develop a habit of writing down a couple of pages to practice stoicism. And we've come to the last way of practicing stoicism, and that is prepare for the worst case scenario. That is to prepare yourself in both ways, mentally as well as financially. I highly recommend to build a runway of at least 3, 6, 9 or 12 months, or save a chunk for some emergency that you might not have predicted and has come your way. Money is an essential tool that will help us on our rainy days. So make a habit of saving for an emergency fund from your income that you are generating. And also, whenever you come across a situation, always evaluate what is the worst case scenario and what could go wrong, and be prepared for that. And if by chance, for the 1 or for the 0.00%, even if it happens, you are prepared for it and you know what is to be done next, so that you do not have to take decisions while you are in that particular situation. So these are the exact 7 practical ways to practice stoicism in your life and be prepared both mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially to face different situations of your life. So yeah, that was it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video till the very end, and I will see you in another video with a new topic. Till then, bye bye.